Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, young friends.
Good afternoon.
Oh, I see 2 levels, okay. Great, we all had a good dose of vitamin D, didn't we? So you're feeling energetic?
Yeah.
Vitamin D provides good immunity, and I think it was a good way to start this morning. And I'm really privileged. Thank you, Mr. Jaydeep Banerjee, and all the faculty members of UID for having invited me over for this great design festival spanning 3 days, India Design Confluence. As I stand here and I look at all you guys, young guys, I'm here to learn as well a lot from what you are into these days. So my primary purpose is to share with you what I believe works in case of design. And I must tell you, all of you have chosen the right path of choosing design as your career option. It has never been more important. Design is really, really happening. So congratulations to all of you. You have chosen the right path, and I'm sure you'll make it big. Yeah? See, you're all in the process of becoming great designers. And you have chosen this because you have the skill set. The skill set is within you. And the institutes you come from, they are constantly nurturing you, giving you the knowledge, helping you to become a better designer. And when you graduate, you go out and you are in touch with the industry. Either you become an entrepreneur, you do things yourself, or you join a company, you work with them in design. Whatever you do, you are in touch with the real world, you are in touch with industry. So my topic today is to focus on that aspect. Beyond being in a 4-year course or a 3-year course as what you have chosen, you learn a lot of things. But after that, when you go out in the industry, there are few special skill sets which are required for you to become a great designer. You're all designers. For you to become a fabulous designer, to create masterpieces and make a business success out of it, requires few other skills, and which is what I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about anything specific about designing, which I believe you guys are great at. So I have chosen this topic deliberately since I'm addressing young minds like you. It is the power of design. That's really the topic. And yes, let me take you through it. Yes, very briefly, you heard my introduction. That is quite an illustrious one, not meant to be shared that way, but thank you for that introduction. Very briefly, since it's a design conference, I have not added about the background of my company, but how many of you know about Titan here? Okay, I think I skipped the introduction. Okay, quick one. Vitamin D should help you. Can you name 2-3 brands of Titan?
Fast track.
Okay.
Raga.
Okay.
Ganesh.
Okay, you're all very well educated. You seem to know a lot about the company. One last question, a little difficult one. Which is the latest category company has gone into? Sorry? Brilliant. That's the right answer. Sari is the right answer. So you guys seem to know about the company, so I'm going to skip it. All these 30 years, Titan has rightly started 30 years back as a single brand, single category company, and as you know today, we are a large company, part of the Tata Group, and we have a whole portfolio of brands in each of our businesses, in watches, jewelry, eyewear, fragrances, and now saris. And wherever we have been, we have tried to focus on the category, on the consumer segment, and design and create products which cater to the needs of the consumer, and that's really been the strategy and which has paid off. So design at Titan, to give you a brief about it, is a very integral and a strategic function. Design is not merely just design is much more. It is not just aesthetics, or that I'll talk about in my presentation. So design is very critical. It is an important function, and design has got deliverables. It's not about a great looking design on paper. It is a fantastic product which solves consumer problems, or it enhances the lives of the consumer, and of course it brings money. Success today's world is defined by business. A great design, put it out in the market. Apple has, we don't need to speak about it, A great design sells well, brings a lot of money, profit for the company, period. And that's the era we are in. If you're creating one limited edition, the most beautiful thing where you don't find a relevant consumer, it's not really happening. So these are the things I would try to take you through, and I would want to make this more interactive. So I am told there is a Q&A session at the end of it, but anybody wants to ask any question, anytime, please feel free to raise your hand and I will pause there and we can take it then and there. Right? All set?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So I always like to start with a quote. Is it clear? I mean, is it visible for you guys, or I'll talk to you? Yeah. So this favorite quote of mine from John Colco, HBR, where he talks about design is more than aesthetics. It is a strategic function that focuses on what people want, need, and dream of, and crafts experiences across the ecosystem, which is meaningful and relevant for the consumer. So the word, keep remembering, the word consumer is very, very important. The question, if you ask, is somebody comes to you, can you design this? The first question you should ask is for whom? Because the same design depends on whom you're designing for. The user in front of you is very, very important. So design definitely is more than aesthetics. So what is it? Design is a way of working. Design is a discipline. It's a way of working. Today, design finds solutions for all the business problems. And why do you think design thinking has become such a big buzzword? Initiated by the IT industry, design thinking, if you just look at the words, it means think like a designer. Why? A designer has a way of exploring. That is, first explore, then converge. Very broadly, the principle of design thinking is based on that. And design thinking is applicable to the finance guy, to the admin guy, to the manufacturing guy, to everybody. So design thinking has become very popular and it has emerged from design. So design is a way of working, it's a discipline and focus. It's about creative collaborations. You know, what we heard in the morning, go to the villages and look at what they have done. Of course, they have been designing, but how do you collaborate with something what it exists? How do you collaborate and make it better? It's about, it's not clash of ideas. It is working on each other's ideas to come up, make it far more powerful. And of course, it's an attitude and value system. And what does this impact? This is very important. Design has an everlasting and huge impact. And in today's world, where technology is available to each and everybody at the same cost, and it is the same technology, how one company or one brand is better than the other? It is design which gives them the sustainable competitive edge. It is very critical. Where everything is available, it is on par. We are in that phase where design becomes the true differentiator. And of course, the consumer experience and appeal, that is what it impacts. If the design is not able to generate that, then it doesn't work. Brand equity. I mean, great brands. Look at the equity of some of the popular brands where design is at the core, which is the DNA. Product development, people, process, organization, heightening the design sensitivity across. I'm really happy to see that, when we generally go abroad and when we go to many of these countries, European countries, and we see a lot of design even in the way of living. You look at the streets, you look at you just feel you're walking in an art museum. But we have a long way to go as a country. But the insensitivity is on the increase. For example, I forget the name, in Bangalore, which is very much known as Silicon City, but is also known for its traffic and bad roads and potholes and all of it. So design has really taken over because constantly complaining to the authorities, to BBMP, there is a pothole here, pothole there. An artist came up with this brilliant idea. So if there is a pothole, he makes a beautiful crocodile coming out of it. And 50,000 people are clicking the pictures, it is up on the digital media, next day the pothole is solved. So I'm saying design can even solve such simple problems, but the point is the design sensitivity is rising in our country and it is our responsibility as the custodian of design to ensure that we go much higher up. And again, I would say, since I represent the industry, I would say this again and again and again, and design is very, very critical for business success. I believe design has got various facets to it. So if I were to decipher each alphabet in design and what it stands for, and this is my interpretation, you may have a very different interpretation. I just wanted to share my view here. Design, the D for design is about desirable. So what you create has to, create a certain kind of a desire in the user's mind. Oh, I lust for that product. I just want to buy it. It is that feeling. If it evokes, then it is a powerful design. Ergonomics, the functional aspect of design. It is not just a great looking product. The functional aspect, the smooth edges, the comfort fit, the ease of wearing, all of that is all about the E of design. Saleability and scale. That is not sale, that's a spelling mistake there. It is about saleable. How saleable are these designs? When you build something, it is not one-off, versus you're able to see thousands and thousands of it and lots of people are able to wear. I mean, it's about design democratization. Take IKEA as an example. Great design, affordable prices, lots of users, and that is one way. So that way, what happens is in the business context, you're able to build differentiation and relevance at the same time and reach out to a wider audience. Of course, there are designs which are very exclusive. I'm not talking about them there because we also focus on touching the billion people of the country. So that's really the opportunity. So saleability and scale, the S of design, are very critical. I, there is nothing without innovation, design innovation, and that can come from a multitude of areas. It could be material science, it could be manufacturing, it could be inspiration, it could be from anywhere. And as I said in the morning, it's really the intersection where it really sits. And if you were to identify it, the I of design stands for innovation. G, guaranteed quality. I mean, we can make a great design, but when we manufacture it, if it leads to a whole lot of issues, then it is not a great design. So when you talk to the manufacturing guys, they say the designers have to design to quality. Design to quality is a very, very important thing, especially if you are talking about scalability, if you're talking about sale, if you're talking about reaching out to a billion people. Quality, because quality is really the reputation of the brand or reputation of the company. And at the end of it all, when you build something, when you create something, it is the storytelling. It's not just a design. How are you able to communicate your thinking? See, when you come to industry, and I have fought hard, and I must tell you a secret, I'm not a designer. I'm not a designer. I swear by design. I believe in promoting designers. I really want them to reach where they truly deserve. And I understand design. And the important thing, and which a lot of you must develop, is communication skills of your own thinking, your own idea, your own narrative. How are you going to influence your next stakeholder? How confident are you in telling that story? What has led you to create the design? That's where a lot of designers also miss out. So make note of it. It's important to sell your ideas confidently. And there has to be a narrative. So it's not just one-off product design, but it's the whole package. It's the narrative, it's the storytelling. That is what becomes very, very critical. So these were the various facets of design I just wanted to touch upon. Any question? Okay. So design starts with a human-centric approach powered by empathy. This is very, very critical, and I will be talking more about this as we go along. I wanted to share with you some of the Forrester 2018 predictions. We are really at the end of 2018, almost a month to go. And what they have predicted about change. You know, change is affecting all of us. There is a lot of dynamism around us. Things are changing at a very fast pace, and what they predicted has of course come true. I really don't know if they're able to read it. It's very, I don't think so. It's looking very, can you guys read it? No? There's too much light. Can we reduce it a little bit? Okay. It says customer expectations will outpace companies' ability to evolve or invent experiences. That's really true. Empowered customers are wreaking havoc on markets, changing the rules and destroying sturdy business models. Power has shifted from institutions to customers. We can't agree more. In today's world, we've just come out of Diwali season, we've just come out of Big Billion Days and Amazon and all of it. And we have all the choice available in the world, deep discount, what do you want? I mean, we get the maximum choice. Customer is the king, we used to say customer is the king and the queen and everything else today. So institutions will have to work harder to give products and services because consumer is really picking and choosing what they want. Evolving customer experiences will challenge everybody. Leader, laggards, and all of that. Only thing is, leaders will quickly adopt it and move forward. That's the point here said. And artificial intelligence will use data to increasingly influence customer opinions and decisions. So this is what the point is. If you're a designer, you don't remain a designer. You need to understand about data, the analytics, how that influences decision. There is a lot which has to happen. And what's really changing today? I mean, we are all consumers, right? I'm sure you're changing. You're constantly bombarded by so many external forces. You're changing. Your way of looking at things are changing. The way of dressing is changing because there are so many factors which are impacting us. Your attitudes, lifestyle, beliefs, and values are changing. And of course, there are these mega trends which influence us in a very big way. And these are mega trends. I will talk about it in detail about mega trends because this is another important thing you as designers must look out for and look for what in that can help you in designing in the right manner, which can really connect with the base for whom you're designing. And of course, all that which is changing around us leads to a new narrative. This is how it's one wave after wave after wave, and there is this whole quantum of change which is constantly happening. By the time you finish your course and you move out, I'm sure a lot of things you have studied in the last 4 years, you might find it a little redundant. You may have to quickly pick up a whole lot of skill set, and that's really the situation. I mean, you guys as students and we as students, we studied and came and nothing much changed. But you, by the time you finish your course, a lot of things around you are changing. Newer opportunities emerging. So it's up to you. You can look at it as a great new opportunity, or you can think about it as, oh my God, I need to constantly upgrade myself, and that's really the world we are living in. So it was very easy earlier. Now I'm going to take some time to talk to you about the consumer segments and the importance of it as designers. As I said earlier, when you have to design something, the first question you ask is for whom. And we had a very simplistic way of breaking up the consumers earlier. We used to say, yeah, it was a demographic breakup, kids, middle-aged, youth, and old. No longer. Today, we talk of lots and lots of consumer segments. The segments like could be newer-ish, traditional rich, homemaker, young professionals, struggling techies, well-settled working women, millennials, Gen Z, B, you name it. There are different consumer segments today, and they are so sharply focused that you have to focus on each of those to create something for them which makes sense for them. So it is important to understand these bits, and there is a lot of research, there is a lot of new kinds of techniques which are available, which gives you this information. So as designers, you must spend time not indoors trying to think of some great creative way of working, but just go out there in the market. Just spend time with the consumers. Just spend time at the store observing people, figuring out what is happening today. So it's when that happens, you really come up with those nuances which can give you the leading edge to create something which is truly innovative. So the point is, consumer segments are here to stay. They are very, there are no longer a very simplistic way of defining things, but they are sharply focused with each segment wanting something very, very different. Well, design influencers, when we talk of, what influences design, and I'm going to be spending time on mega trends, and my case study is linked to it because that's the way we work in Titan. One important piece is the consumer piece. We do a lot of research, designers and otherwise, because research is a continuous inflow of information. We understand constantly how our consumer segment is changing, what are they expecting from us. The second thing, which is big time influencing this change, are mega trends. And design is not an absolute. It is relative and it is depending on a whole lot of factors, and mega trend being one of them. So what are mega trends? Mega trends are transformative global forces that define the future world with their far-reaching impact on business, societies, economies, cultures, and personal life. So mega trends are everywhere, and all of us are impacted by it. Each and every one of us, we are impacted by it, and which is how that impact leads to the kind of behavior, kinds of things we want, and it's at a higher level impacting everything. But for a business to understand how these mega trends impact our consumer segments and hence what we should be creating, there is a process, and which is what I'd like to take you through. So what are our drivers? Typically, mega trends, I mean, these are at overarching forces. It doesn't really, you don't get into it. These are data from Euromonitor. I've just picked it up from there because they publish these mega trends. And shifting economic power, technology, population change, environmental shift, and changing values. You know, these are some of the bigger factors which kind of influence the mega trends in a very big way. So, if you were to look at it, I'm sorry, if the font is it readable at all? You guys can see it? Okay. So, some of the mega trends which has been identified by Euromonitor, which is impacting globally, and I've added our geography into it. I have also taken some India-specific one. You know, let me talk about connected consumers. How many of you agree? Connected consumers. You're all connected consumers, right? You're not like this, say, 7 years back. We are connected, and more connected. So connected consumer is a mega trend which is influencing all our lives today. In India specific, the middle class retreat. If you look at the billion population, a lot of people are, more and more people. So there is progress. Whether India shining is happening or whether Achedin is happening, I'm not getting into the political aspect of it, but a lot of people are moving and becoming middle class. So our middle class in our country is really huge. A population which can bring in a lot more of prosperity, a lot more of business. At the same time, when there is so much of people moving into middle class, there is this premiumization which is happening. More and more people are becoming rich. So while this is happening, there is a divide between the rich and the poor. That divide is also increasing. Certain percentage of people have a huge, in terms of disparity of wealth. So there is a big luxury market which is also evolving on account of this. Experience more. How many of us here wouldn't agree with this? It's all about the whole economy is shifting to experience more. It's an experience economy. It's not no longer about possession. It's not just I want to buy this, I want to buy this, I want to keep it in my locker. No, if I want something, I want it now and I want to experience it. So this Airbnbs, why are they thriving so much? It's all about holiday, it's all about experiences. So there are a lot of new industries, the whole sharing economy and all of that has come up in a big way because people want to experience more. She economy. I mean, I see a lot of women in the audience. In fact, I think here, for a change, I think the men-women ratio is the other way around. I see more women than men, and happy for that. So, generally, wherever you go, you see, the percentage other way. At least I would say it is 50-50. No, I think it's women 60 and men 40 here. So, great. She economy. You guys are defining the world. And we are all defining the world today. The spending power, your say, and we were, in fact, I was talking to her in the morning. She's going to be one of the speakers. Sorry, Juliet. Sorry, Carol. I was talking to Carol, and Carol is here talking. We were discussing something very interesting: how women power and women empowerment is such a big topic. Yes, we have a long way to go, but it is happening. The very fact that in this room there are so many women makes me feel good. And youngsters like you, I mean, every woman is a working woman today. There are very few you would come across who would say, nah, I'm not working. So it's a done thing. We are breaking the codes of patriarchy. We are questioning why only men. So I'm nothing against men. I'm a very gender neutral person here, by the way. But I'm talking about she economy and how she economy, as they've termed it, impacts everything. And that's going to be one of my case studies. So stay with that. Great. All the women feel good. Yes. It is such a big thing that they have identified it as a mega trend. Shopping reinvented. Of course, we all know about this. No longer are we, taking our cars, visiting stores. I mean, we are doing it for a certain experience, yes, but then one online, quick Google, quick Amazon, quick Flipkart, and the shopping is, a lot on e-com, a lot omni, and a lot of that is happening. That's a big shift. So the kind of products people are willing to consume, it has got a direct impact on what you guys will create. Well-being. Another very big trend, well-being in terms of health and fitness, looking good, grooming, because you guys are all Insta generation, no, whatever you do, you want to click a quick selfie, post it. Yes, I am sitting in this hall, whatever, I'm sure by now you guys must have sent out to, I don't know how many people. So the need to constantly look good, constantly upgrade yourself, I'm sure you guys, I can see the smile on your faces, I'm sure you do it all the time. So that is a big trend, well-being. One is physical fitness, gym, spa, yes. that is happening. That leads, see when the mega trend comes, that leads to a lot of other industry where there is an opportunity. It's up to brands to figure out how do I take that opportunity, how do I create product and services, and how do I make a business out of it. That is one thing. So and the last one is ethical living. So, we talk of consumer segments. We have been talking a lot about millennials for quite some time, and many of you here are millennials, I guess. But I also think they might be the first years, you might be Gen Z also. We have the next generation, which is Gen Z, and there is a lot of research which is happening on this Gen Z consumers, And what about it is between millennials and Gen Z, there is also a difference. But the point is, compared to our generation, you guys are far more into sustainability. You guys are far more into ethics. What's right, what is not right, what is sustainable. It could be your ecosystem. Every day you open something, you're seeing climate changes which are happening. You hear about earthquake. So you as a generation feel, what can I as an individual do to connect it? That might be the reason, but this is happening. So this generation of you young people are more into ethical living. So broadly, these are the mega trends, and why I'm sharing it with you is it's important for you as a designer to be constantly looking at these things, because mega trends influence everything, and they influence business, they influence what you create. So what I'm going to do now is to take few of these mega trends and talk to you about the case studies entitled, so that you're able to see how we look at mega trends and how we create and the design and all of that. So sorry, I didn't talk about India Pride. India Pride is a very, very big trend we are seeing. As Indians, we are very proud to be Indians, and there is, while India is moving, we are becoming more modern. So India Pride is in the contemporary sense. See, thanks to Sundar Pichai, thanks to our Microsoft head, and thanks to our Indira Nui, the people, the Indians who've made it big globally, gives us the feeling that, of course, we are in the right thing. Second, China, India really happening, huge population, and that's really where the growth is. And with so much happening and with so many Indians doing well in all fields, there is a sense of pride. So if you travel abroad, it's very different. 10 years back and now, the kind of respects Indian governs. So Indians are proud of India, but it's not the traditional, not necessarily the heritage, but it is, yes, as it was spoken in the morning, taking heritage, but in a very contemporary manner, is what is coming as an important thing. So India Pride, and we are an Indian company, and so we do talk about India Pride. So I'm going to be just talking about these 4 mega trends, while there are many: India Pride, connected consumer, she economy, and well-being, and take you through 3 case studies, which I hope you will find of interest. So very quickly touching upon, how do you look at trends and this whole thing on trend research. Is, of course, you get to know mega trends which are published information. It's also a specialized field, but you can always develop it. And then filter it for the Indian context. Then you filter it from a company focus, because the categories you are in, how it does, the interpretation of the mega trends in your life, and then implementation. So it is a kind of a process. So if you're constantly on the lookout for it, you can really understand what it is. So let me take the case studies from our company. There are 3 of them. One is Aweer. Anybody heard of Aweer? Yes? Hands up. Only one lady. 2. Okay. Not many of you have heard. So obviously we have not done a good job in marketing, and none of the men. It is jewelry for men. So, and Titan B, it is the first smart watch for women, which is being beautifully designed. And the third is Padmavat. How many of you here have heard of Padmavat? Most controversial movie ever last year. Sanjay Leela Bansali, Deepika Padukone, Ranveer Singh. Still, you guys don't watch Indian movies or what? This was so much in news, guys. Even if you didn't watch movies, you should know about the news. There was so much happening in the country, burning, this, that. Yeah, okay. So, I hope you know that we designed entire jewelry for the movie. And what I'm going to talk about is not that. It's about how do you take that and how you convert it into bread and make it into a big business proposition. So these are 3 case studies I will take you through. Let me start with Aweer. Aweer is from the house of Titan, the sub-brand for men. So as you have heard, the brand name Tanishq. Tanishq, we have been adorning women for the last 20-25 years. But we never looked at men or to create jewelry for men. Yes, we had few products for men and it continued selling. We never bothered to create a sub-brand, or we never bothered to market this as a package. But why did we do it now? That's really the story. So if you look at Aviv, the mega trend here is well-being. Well-being, it's really at an overall level, right? The mega trends we spoke about. So if you want to look at it globally, Asian consumers have become wellness junkies. China's fitness industry grew at an annualized rate of 10%, blah, 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 all that is data. And people are turning vegan, and wellness is no longer gym and spa, it's, think digital well-being. So well-being is all across. So we do a lot of research, as I said, and if we want to look at the Indian context, it is the paradigm shift. It is grooming in, the whole thing of grooming in India, and here I'm talking about men as the target audience. So there is statistics to prove that in India, the grooming industry is growing at a CAGR or category growth rate of 45%, and it's supposed to touch 35,000 crores. It's a huge market size. Of course, it includes everything. And what we spoke about earlier, changing demographics, lifestyle, greater spending habits, more media exposure, and people are wanting to look good all the time. So why? What is the key motivation for grooming? We did research to figure out what is the key motivation for grooming. And very clearly, it is like to reward yourself because I'm worth it, because I want to look good. And some of the anecdotes from the research, where somebody is saying that, earlier we used to go for rupees 100 to a barber, but now I spend 800 doing that. To have a tissue massage and all of the spa, and this women are used to doing it, not men, in India. I'm talking India. This is happening. This is happening across all the key cities in India, and people are spending more and more money in making themselves look good and feel good. And of course, another key motivation is crafting a different look for each occasion. Everybody is doing multiple things today, and you want to look good and feel good all the time. Right from going to the gym in the morning to whatever else in the afternoon for a football match, to along with your wife somewhere. And there are so many occasions in your life that you want to be perfect. I mean, whether it's good or bad, I don't know, but this is really a trend. And you want to be dressed for that occasion. That is leading to a key motivation for grooming. So there are some anecdotes which say we have to take photos, selfies. It's important to be well dressed and color coordinated with the spouse. These are all the young people who have just married, want to flaunt something like that. My wife will look very grand, I have to match her. Earlier, I never used to change watches. Today, I do. I also collect them. So it is the changing attitude in men, and this is how men are looking at this whole thing. So that gives rise definitely to a business opportunity of a different kind. Storytelling and new experiences. Consumers often talk about the experiences on vacation, cruise, foreign trips. This whole thing is all about experience economy and then talking about them in storytelling. And we figured out that accessories and jewelry is part of the repertoire of those stories. We see a lot of men sporting that single stud. I don't know how many of you here do. And a little bit of jewelry. It's not garish, it is not like the yellow gold that women wear, but yes, jewelry is playing a part in men's life. And we didn't do it for so many years because we never felt the need to do so. But now we are sensing a business opportunity here because we see the way the men are changing, the men are behaving, and hence our need to create a brand like Oli. So after the research, what we concluded was the new age men, it's about projecting a global image. So this is very important, what you take out from the research, because that will lead to what you create. Men are saying, I want to project a global image. So what? What do you mean by global image? And hence, what should be your inspiration? Hence, what should be your design direction? What kind of material? What kind of look? As a designer, these things should really click into your mind to see that what am I going to create? And hence, immersing yourself in the consumer's life, immersing yourself in understanding lifestyle will help you evolve something like that. Personal style is a means of self-expression to the world. So these were the two key things we took out from the research which led us to do this. So when you link it back to the mega trend, it is about building a better me. Building a better me is not just about building muscles. It's about upscaling oneself to demonstrate success and exclusivity. And health is the new wealth. It is about self-expression through a healthy image. So this was the conclusion. This is what we understood the mega trend. We understood the consumer segment. We found a business opportunity. We, based on the essence, we figured out what we need to create, and hence what we created was in line to this. So the design story, of course, after looking at various, we are talking about projecting a global image, and when you talk of men, it is also, you know, a lot with automobile and racing track and stuff like that. So the whole important thing was about, you know, aerodynamic forms and energetic outlines and creating jewelry which is not the typical way of, you know, if you look at these rings, these are not really the round rings, but building something which is little different and differentiated and having a global image. It's not the Indian way of, you know, we do have such products, but that was not the purpose here in this collection. Textures, we are taking race as a story, so the race track and, you know, the trails, the imprints it leaves on the ground. So those were the nuances which were taken forward, and doing it in gold to get that kind of an impression was an important thing. The finish line, the checks, the flags, trying to achieve that in terms of jewelry. And then this brand was created, which is, you know, we have used CNC, a lot of CNC technique, a lot of sintering to get that seamless look, which is very modern, which is very global. And this was the result. So in terms of doing the collection, there were a lot of, this is more like a engineered piece. It is less in terms of manufacturing techniques also, less of jewelry making technique, more of engineering techniques to have, you know, interactive detailing, rotating rings, moving tubes, and to provide the comfort fit, surprises inside. So a whole lot of detailing, even to create a simple product, was really the way we looked at this collection. Let me quickly show you a commercial. If you can have lesser lights, it would be better. Otherwise, for the commercial, please.
The man for whom fear is a stranger, courage is a friend, switches on his dreams and enjoys the ride, plays it with style, plays it with success. This is his moment. This is his life. Gentlemen, show your mettle. Avir, jewelry for men, from Tanishq.
So this is how, yeah, you can have the lights, please. So this was the collection. This was how, what it was created. Are the men here interested, or I think you're too young for it?
No, we are interested.
There are more. Okay, great. So this was what we did. So this was just a case study to just show you a glimpse of how you look at a segment, how you look at the requirement, and then marry it with the trend, and then go on to the inspiration, the stories, the techniques, and then create something which is and by the way, it's doing very well. The men have kind of liked it, and men are allowing the importance of, you know, having a jewelry brand to themselves in India. So that was Avir. So now I go to my next case study, which is Titan B. This is really the first time. How many of you have heard of Titan B? None. A few of you. Okay. So Titan B, basically, it's a smartwatch. It's a smartwatch. It's a connected watch, obviously, and it does various things, which I will talk to you about. And what was the need for us in today's world? When you think of smartwatches, what comes to your mind? Which brand? Which brands?
Apple.
Okay, after Apple. Fossil. After that.
Samsung.
That's it. There are not too many. And let me say women's brand. Any brand comes to your mind? Fitbit is unisex, and it's not a smartwatch. Fitbit is a wearable. It's a fitness band. So, you know, in today's world now, there is the smartwatch and there is this wearables, which is wearables like Fitbit, of course, is number one. And these things are unisex. So you may ask, why is there a need to do anything special for women? That's a different question. But if you were to look at the smart world today, you know, there are brands like Xiaomi, there are other brands, there are a whole lot of other brands, there are also unbranded Chinese brands. I mean, all of you, I'm sure. How many of you here wear either a wearable or a smartwatch? Okay, not too much. I expected that all of you would raise your hands and say that no, we wear a wearable. Okay, good. But a lot of people like you are wearing a lot of wearables and a lot of Fitbits of the world. But if we were to look at the way smart is moving, our objective is to make smart beautiful. You know, today, if you place all the brands and do a blind check, other than Apple, there are very few brands that will stand out. When you remove the brand name, they are all the same. They look the same, they do the same things, there is no differentiation. So we found an opportunity, and that's what our smart journey as a company has been all about. I do not say we are there, we are not yet successful, we have a long way to go when it comes to smart, but we are getting there. So this first watch, what we launched, this is the first smart watch in the world targeted towards women, specifically towards women, and what does it do and how. I'll take you through that story. So when we talk of Titan V, the mega trend here is well-being, economy, and also connected consumers. These three things, which has been the starting point for creating something like this. So you know, if you look at this Women's Day in 2018 Women's Day, you know, there was so much. It was so different from what was there previous year. So if you guys must have noticed that, you know, what Johnny Walkers did on Women's Day. I mean, if you see that logo, there is a lady there. Otherwise, it's always Johnny Walker, the guy. MTV did a nice thing. They just flipped the logo. They made it W. I mean, it looks like M, but that's a very nice touch to it. And you know, look at that street signages for a change. This is what I was saying. Women have all reason to feel good, at least for one day. We should not be celebrating Women's Day. Every day should be Women's Day, but that apart. This is what. So you can see the transformation which is happening. You can see how the changes are happening, and a lot of women-centric stories were celebrated on Women's Day this year, 2018. So woman is really the wonder customer every brand is trying to tap into. And you know, when you talk of women earlier, you create a gents version, you make it smaller in size, it becomes woman. Add a dash of pink, it becomes feminine. No longer. Sorry guys, if that is the way we are going to design stuff for women, not working. Today, the women are far more discerning. They want stuff for themselves. They want them to be understood. They want us to create something which meets with certain unmet needs of theirs to express themselves. So that's what it is all about. So shrink it, pink it, not a strategy any longer. Just wouldn't work. And with the eye on growing women's market, you know, if you look at sportswear brands, I mean, they are doing so much about it. And there is this whole thing about the athleisure is a new casual. I mean, athleisure is a, if you were to take athleisure as a trend to do things, it's amazing how that has come in. And why has it come in? It's coming because of the need, because of the change in lifestyle, because of the requirement. So, wellness and fitness mindsets are getting louder, and it will continue to do so in the near future. It's all there in clothes, and you can see it in, you know, technology. You know, industry trend like Apple and Google are getting into wearables, and you know, they are hugely successful. So this whole thing about wellness, fitness, all of that, and specifically for women, and making it specifically for her, is gaining momentum. So women are becoming more conscious of their lifestyle and their well-being, you know, and there is a lot we see around us, and I'm sure all of you are those. So what did Titan do? So Titan looked at coming up with a solution to this. One is, Titan has always stood for good designs. Good looking watches has been at the heart of us. Suddenly when smart comes in, we take and try to make a smart watch, and smart is a very evolving industry. So we tie up with the experts, we worked with HP, we have got various other technology partners with whom we partner to get the smart part. But we want to retain our DNA of making good looking watches. So making smart beautiful is really our strategy. So when we take the smart part of it, and you know, you as designers, I'm sure you understand, when there is such a big regular watch movement and there is also the smart component coming in, then what happens? The aesthetics goes out of the window. The thickness increases, and the watch becomes thicker. It's no longer desirable. You want it to, you know, be slim, you want it to be beautiful, and then that is where the innovation comes in. How do you miniaturize stuff? How do you create surfaces? How do you chamfer it in such a way that it doesn't look thick? And all of that we went through in this watch. So this is not really very slim, but this is not very thick either, and it looks like a beautiful watch because here the technology part of it we have integrated into the strap. So you know, and also the metal part of it, when you get into technology, it has got issues with Bluetooth and metal. They don't go well. So if you do a metal watch and if you have a Bluetooth there for it to connect, there are issues. So as a designer, you need to think of all possible constraints to create a solution which is beautiful yet functional. So in this particular case, a lot of that is fitted onto the strap. So, but that makes the strap more expensive, right? If the strap is gone and if you want to replace it, it is not so easy because the technology part is also sitting onto the strap. But this has given us the opportunity to reduce the thickness of the case and make it beautiful. So the features we've got is about fitness. It tells you, how many steps you've taken and all that you've done. There is a safety, I will talk about it. There is a safety button. So today, women, wherever we are saying she economy and all of that, but there is a lot of, women issues today. I mean, women are facing a lot of problems, and safety, women's safety is a very big topic. So there is no one watch. In our own brand Sonata, we have launched a safety watch. So you want a safety button wherein you have a list. I'll come to safety separately. Then there is thinking about you. You're sitting at say a Starbucks and suddenly two press button. Starbucks thinking about you is a message which goes to your boyfriend or your husband or whoever. So that's a nice to have kind of a feature. And find your phone. How often do we put our phone somewhere and we keep searching for it? So you press a button and the phone will ring and you know your watch. So these are the 5 features. After a lot of research, we felt these are the use cases which can be incorporated in this watch, and they have got into it. So the other point I want to talk about is, if you see one is the watch, which looks like a fashion watch but it is smart. The other is, look at the UI UX, in the interaction part of the app. It is not the standard grey looking thing, It is being designed keeping the Titan woman in mind. So the pastels and it is also beautiful. It is also made to look good. That's where design has played an important role. So, for safety is not a gadget but a state of mind. So I've got 2 commercials which will just show you, not all the features, I didn't want to run all of it. I'll just take you through. May I have the lights off, please? 2 commercials which will tell you what is all about.
There's a simpler way for friends to give you a fitness nudge. Titan V, a watch with a fitness nudge. Titan V, a smart watch specially designed for women.
One more. No, sorry, wait.
There's a simpler way to find your phone. Titan V, a watch that helps you find your phone. Titan V, a smart watch specially designed for women.
And it's a very affordable price point. It's just at 9995. So all the women who want all these aspects and want a smart watch and a good looking watch, please go to your store in Ahmedabad and buy it. Okay, it's not a sales pitch. I'm not here to do that. So that was about just explaining how you take the trends, you look for a business opportunity, understand the consumers and create something, keeping all the manufacturing constraints, keeping technology in mind, create something which makes sense for her. I think I must rush to the 3rd story, and I think I'm on the time part, and I've got one 3rd one, which I'd love to talk about. It's about Padmavati, the movie, and this is from Jewelry for Women. So, I don't know how many of you have seen the movie, but it is a very grand, you have. Okay, hands please, how many have seen the movie? Hey, when I asked the first question, you said no, 100%, everybody's seen the movie, fantastic. So you must have seen the jewelry, the cars for wearing. Each and every piece has been designed by us. And again, Sanjay Leela Bansali, he's a creative maverick. Working with him is not easy. And each and every character, we had to do a lot of research. And this is 13th century. There is not much of history which is documented. So we had to use history with imagination, with what we can make to even conceive what kind of designs we must create. And look at how she is loaded from head to toe, wearing jewelry throughout the movie. So if I were to take up Padmavat here, the mega trend here is India Pride. Why did we get into this opportunity is yes, today while women are wearing Titan B kind of watches, but there are those occasions where she is also embellishing herself. This is especially more in the bridal space. When she gets married, she wants to be the queen. So India Pride being the mega trend. And what influenced us in creating this? One is of course Bollywood and the character itself. Our jewelry is inspired by the character named Padmavati. It is for the Mughal emperor. It is for each of the character, and we did enough research to figure that out. And what are the key influences here? Is of course it was a handcrafted era. And with research, we knew a little bit of Kundan was there. This was not there. The gold look. And you have to be true. The story has to be authentic. You can't just create something which is not belonging to that era, because there are a lot of people who are doing that kind of research and who come and question when the character is adorned with something which is not somewhat close to history. And royal heirlooms, these three were the key inspiration for us. So recreating the old world charm and royal grandeur was really the big objective. And so studying the kind of jewelry people were wearing at that point in time, using a lot of imagination to recreate those was big task. And for each character, we had a very raw look for Ranveer's character, we had a very ornate look for Deepika's character, and for Shahid's character, he was the Maharaja. So it was a different kind of a look. So which was all recreating it, looking at. So we have rich history, we have a legacy of 5,000 years. There are some brilliant techniques. So this actually, on our own, if we had thought of creating a collection, we would have never gone there. Our merchandising and marketing team would have said, no way will this collection sell. But when we had a platform like Padmavat, and which we know with a director like Sanjay Leela Bansali, it will become a hit, we were sure that we could create trends in the Indian market by what we create. So we saw it as a huge opportunity. We introduced colored kundan. The intricate workmanship, all of that was done to adorn her. So this is recreating the old world charm. The other is revitalizing traditions with handcrafted techniques. So if you were to, I don't know how much you can see here, each and every piece, every bit here has been, thought through and conceived. See, end of the day, we are the brand Tanishq. When we create a product like this for a movie, what happens is it sets a trend. A lot of people want to buy and own it. Okay, these kind of techniques, it's also very high making charges, very difficult to do, completely handcrafted. Our task is to create a Pret, which more and more people can afford, more and more people can buy. So when we do this, it has to be true to that, but we also need to keep in mind the Pret version we are able to create. And we have done a great job with the Pret we have created, and we have sold huge numbers thanks to this association. So it is about, taking our traditional techniques and giving it a twist, and creating some beautiful jewelry. Techniques like, intricate partage technique, for those who are from jewelry would know these terminologies. Moti, gheri, these are all not used in a regular jewelry parlance. We don't do all of this on a regular jewelry, right? This is when you take it from your, from that legacy of 5,000 years and try and do something very special. That's when these things come. Nakashi with pearls around it, or stone inlay, miniature paintings, bringing them alive. This is a dying art. Only in Jaipur, there are just 2 or 3 karigars left who are doing these miniature paintings. So getting the authentic miniature painting done itself is very difficult. And you can't do mass scale and all with that, because they are limited. There are people who are doing it, they are with the curve, and it's unfortunately a dying art. And it's a beautiful technique. And of course, establishing new trends. So if you have been following Deepika Padukone's wedding now and what kind of jewelry she's wearing, a lot also inspired from what you created. This satladas and panchaladas, and it's all used to be there, and it's kind of gone out. But in the current bridal trends, if you see in India, Padmavati has inspired a lot of these trends. A lot of things are coming back, like all of these layered jewelry, the art, the whole thing of choker coming back with art and the elaborate piece and all of it. So this has helped us establish different trends in the market in the jewelry category. And some more of this through the miniature painting. And we created very elaborate matha patti and memant and kanful and all that. You can't do it in a regular thing, but these have become bridal trends now. So if you want to look at the bridal trends for upcoming 18, 19 trends, you see a lot of these now. So when a big blockbuster Bollywood movie comes in with this kind of a jewelry, it's bound to make a difference. So, so it kind of changes it. And this is what happened 8 years back when we did a movie called Jodha Akbar. When we did Aishwarya Rai and Hrithik Roshan, it created a trend of Kundan Polki in the market, and Kundan Polki really, it really blew up the market. It became a big rage. And now with Padmavat, we are still enjoying the benefits of this association, and it has really changed the jewelry trends in the market. So what I'm trying to say is, as designers, you need to look for opportunities. And if you work in a company or you work on your own, it is about identifying the right opportunities and to do the right things. So, these were my 3 case studies. Hope you found them useful. I quickly touch upon 2 things which may sound a little preachy, but if I would like to say, as designers, I believe you should have 3 things all the time with you. 1, curiosity. Be curious. Be curious all the time. Be curious to figure out what's happening around you. Not necessarily in the field of design. Look at associated fields, because a lot of things come from there. So just have an open mind and just soak in everything. Be curious. Creativity, of course, that's the field you belong. So constantly being creative is very, very important. And desire to learn and grow. That desire is very important. You need to know, see, I've come across 2 kinds of designers. Designers who are like, they do something, they have an open session, they take a lot of feedback, they are willing to, okay, yeah, let me change. And there are both kind of people who exist in my team. The other person has thought through and created something, and in their mind they believe that this is the best. Nothing can be changed. But in today's world of open source, open coding, open gaming, open everything, there is nothing closed. So as designer, you do something and you stick to it. Not working, please take feedback. Anything you create, please take feedback from your colleagues, from your friends, from others whom you believe is the user of the design. Quickly change it, change it, change it. Iteration is the way to perfection. Just you create one thing and just sit with that, doesn't work. So important is to learn and grow, and it's that kind of a thing. So this is my last slide, and I would like to take the liberty, since I see most of the students here, may I ask all the students here, only the students, to please stand up. Only the students, please. If you have been sleeping also, you've been forced to get up now. Okay, majority of your students. So I wanted you guys, this is to take a pledge. It's a very small pledge, and as the line comes up, read it aloud. Okay, and I promise you, if you read the pledge and if you try to follow it in your life, you will become good designers. So here we go. It's in English, first line. Please read it loudly, all of you together. Do you agree with what you read? Yes. If you do it consciously, please be seated. Thank you. I think you will become a fabulous designer and you will create masterpieces. Thank you so much for patient hearing. I hope I could add value. Thanks.
Can I have the lights on, please? We have some time to take some questions. Revathi ma'am is going to answer a few questions. Yeah, please ask. Yeah.
It's fantastic to see the mega trends and the kind of cycle follow with the fashion and for the new market. But I was just wondering, why Titan was never thought about a wristwatch for blind people, like a brain watch, or something, a product for the disabled people. There have been plenty of people in our India, there are trends, why it's not being thought about?
No, we did have long back a brain watch. We did have a brain watch. And you're right, and we recently did something called Design Impact Awards, wherein we called a lot of innovators, grassroots innovators to come together, and a lot of which was for a social cause. And we have got a lot of those ideas, and some of this what you're taking will certainly take forward. See, what happens is, one is to, as I said, Titan is also a business entity. So we did a braille watch, and again, if we sold only X numbers of the braille watch, the next product manager in the next this thing would have dropped. Oh, that's what it happens, because it is business led, right? We create and we want to sell, we want to make profits, we want to make money. Of course we will. So we have taken this separate. We have something called, we had Design Impact Awards for social causes. We've got some brilliant ideas. In fact, we are supporting it as a company, and some of these ideas will come to that.
But also some of the products in terms of a basic tent or a basic some kind of requirement for the rural community of our India. I completely appreciate the brands and the values created by them, but it's for a market which is completely high. Rather than a rural marketing, is there a product which can be affordable?
Sonata is a brand actually for the rural. I would say even the semi-urban consumer. Sonata is a brand for mass market. Titan is slightly premium, and Xylus is twisting. So we have a laddering, and as you rightly say, there is a huge business opportunity there. So we do have brand Sonata, which is very, if you were to Google and check out the brand Sonata, it really caters to the needs of this audience.
And okay, last question.
No problem.
Yeah, the last question is that when you showed about the smartwatches, specially designed by the women, and the design process, I completely really liked it. But I just wanted to add upon that there is no mention of indigo. In the night, when you're supposed to look for the schedules and kind of the thing in the wristwatch, there is no mention of indigo, light or anything as a device or as a function.
Okay.
And secondly is that since digital technology is transforming the India and the letters in the typography is such, it is more readable in terms of larger volumes of scales of the typograph. So why, the new designs of is not being, I was just curious to know.
So it is, in fact, you don't have to look at the watch to perform any function. So if you get into if you download your Titan V app on Google Play Store, you will see a lot of these functions are based only on press. So one press, so here it's a long press is for safety. I didn't cover in detail. It's a double press, it's for thinking about you. So it's all a lot about, there's nothing you see in the watch. The app is what, which is there, which is on your phone, which is lit. But I take your point. But as designer, you have a constraint. When you make a good-looking product, maybe some features you don't. But maybe a glow could have helped. I take your view. Thanks.
Thank you.
Anybody else? First floor. I don't know whether you guys have a mic, but. No questions.
I'm just curious, why the name Avir?
Well, Avir is it's a Hindi name. It's like Avir is not an opposite of Veer. That research we have done. So when marketing decides on the name, when we say Veer, Avir is adding on to Veer. So Veer is the big attribute which is Veerta kind of a thing for men, and hence Avir. So it could have been any other name also. After a point, the name is just a name, and what you do to it makes all the difference.
In terms of business point of view, I think the products, the various types of products, does make more profit in terms of industry and in terms of kind of a business, or the commercial in the marketing segment makes more profit.
No, I didn't understand your question.
In terms of design creativity and following the mega trends and coming up with a design new product, that life cycle really makes profit and impact in the India, or the advertisement, the campaign management and those things makes a more
Nothing
impact.
is in isolation. You have to create a product, you have to be authentic, take the inspiration, create it, and design and marketing are two different functions, let's say, in a brand, and the job of marketing is to amplify what you have created. They have to, the inspiration, when it comes to the communication, that's when you get to do it. So it is nothing, no one element. Only design doesn't make it success. Only marketing doesn't make it success. But the importance of product design is, you may see the marketing, you may walk into the store, and when you look at the product, you need to buy the product. And the product lives you long enough. And hence, the product needs to have all the inherent values of quality, functionality, all of that. So So it is like, it's not that if something has done well, marketing takes the credit or design takes the credit. It depends. In some cases, if it has not been marketed at all and it's been a roaring success, then you can attribute it. But then design in isolation cannot take it. You have designed it, but somebody has manufactured it. So it is an entire value chain, which is important. So I always say designers have to work in collaboration. There is no designer in isolation. अरे paper में बना दिया तो क्या हुआ? Who will manufacture it for you? You know, there are a lot of innovations and manufacturing techniques also which you guys as designers must understand to make it successful. So it's a collaborative effort.
Ma'am, you have a job that requires you to be creative every day, and unlike, say, hard work which you put in 8 hours a day, creativity comes in spurts. How do you keep yourself from being exhausted? How do you prevent the burnout that comes with being creatively very out there?
See, I work with a team which makes sure that I get all the energy to be good. So, have a very happening young team. It's a mix, right? So, and there are a lot of these. Yeah. There are a lot of these challenges, and it's not that I need to get the solution. So, as I said, it's about collaboration. Even some 5 team members have come with a brilliant solution. It's fine. So, it's not that one individual has to continuously be creative. As long as you build a team, in my position, I need a team who's fantastic, who's also doing a great job. So if 5 of guys are out, you're not feeling creative enough, there are the other 5 which are doing. And I believe in bringing a lot of youngsters and freshness and a lot of interns and and a lot of people even from outside, because it's the collaboration of ideas which will give you something. So I work with the team. And I don't think individuals really matter. And I believe in this, no man is indispensable. We are all here to go one day, but the team, the entity, the enterprise will always remain.
Yes. Now you said you are a designer.
Yes.
So what was your background basically?
I actually started my career as a market researcher. Then I moved to mainline marketing. Then I was in the international business, looking at product and marketing, looking at West Asia and Africa. When I came back, I looked at I was a consumer within the company, Designers were doing what they were doing, and as an internal customer, I used to feel we are not doing enough. I could see the disconnect. And when I learned what the market wants, I said if I plug it back into design, I get my designers to think like marketeers. I like the designers to think from a consumer point of view we could do. And that was an experiment which I tried, which my company tried. And I headed the watches design team for 5 years. I found that job super thrilling and exciting, and we did some fantastic work. Then I decided to take this as a career, and I moved on to jewelry and innovation and new products. And now I head this for the entire company. So I love what I'm doing. So it's been a journey like that. I can't design for nuts, which is why I said I have got a fantastic team. But what I bring in is so design is not about design. Design is you need to know what you need to create. What is the strategy of design? What is the design direction? And hence you create. You need to know what will sell. How will the consumer react? What are the nuances? What is competition offering? What is the world around you doing? So I bring in a lot of value add from the strategy point of view. And I've got a talented team who does the execution.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned about the changes that has happened over the years. So when you started your business and now, what are the significant things that you've seen changing over this period of years in terms of attitude, in terms of the people who come up, and in terms of design and everything? Like, how have you seen the industry growing over the years?
I think it's been transformational change in every sphere. So if I don't talk of early years, even in the last say 5-10 years, there has been so much change in terms of even in a company like Titan, when we say there are people who are slightly older, people who are the newcomers who are much younger, and the value systems, the expectation, the digital savviness, the ability to absorb technology. So there is a difference. So every generation, if you see, there is a difference. There is a specific difference. So when you put them all together in an organization like Titan, you have all kinds of, there are different cohorts. But what holds you together is culture of the company. There is one thread. There are a few things which the enterprise stands for, which the company stands for. That is there in everybody. But this is the best part, because you have all these, you're constantly looking at, and hence it's important to have youngsters, freshers who come into the organization. But everywhere it's gone through transformation, very different. And hence you need to change yourself to adapt to the new changes.
With the constantly changing mega trends, what if I have created a design which went through a lot of hard work, but I am late for its launch? So should I launch it afterwards or should it?
Actually, mega trends also are not very quick to change. I mean, the trend also happens like that. It is like there are these early signals. So as a marketer, as a creator, you should be able to catch the early signal. So it goes through this wave. So it becomes, first it's a runway, and then slowly other brands started achieving. Then by the time it becomes popular, there is a period, okay, and then it starts waning. It starts coming down. So if you're catching that at the end of it, and if it's especially in fashion space, it's not a good thing. So that's why you should have early signals of capturing it, and you become the one who amplify it. And that's why the timing is important, especially in fashion.
Can we have the last question, please?
Yes. Oh, okay. There's some lady holding the mic there. First floor. Sorry, after that will come to someone. Yeah.
I actually wanted to ask you that as Tanish created Tanish Me.
Closer to your mom, I can't.
Hello. As Tanish created Tanish Me.
Titan created Titan Me.
Titan created Tanish Me. Then we can see more technological and smart way in our product and design. So do you think it will overtake the simple product?
Overtake the?
Simple product which are not smart.
I think so, because to me technology is an enabler. Like I think 25 years back, when you guys were not even born. HMT was a very strong brand before Titan was born, and it uses mechanical movement. When Titan came with quads, Titan overtook HMT completely, and we have had a play for 30 years. But now the whole industry is changing. Titan is in this flux of catching up on technology. I won't say we are leading. We are followers as far as technology is concerned. But now we are working hard to ensure that the way I see it, I'm sure the platform in the next few years will be smart only. But then we have got to make smart beautiful. Because once everybody is already getting into the smart play, almost 30% of business for all brands comes from smart. In the next few years, I see that percentage going up substantially. But then what will differentiate? Design, miniaturization, beautification, fashion, those things come into play. I certainly see that happening.
So do we need to focus more on going smart technologically?
I said so in the morning. I think for designers today, it's very, very, very important to be aware. There is so much happening. There is so much happening in the field of technology that not being aware of that, you will miss a bus. You need to know. You need to be aware. Then you can decide what you do with it. Awareness is important.
Can we have the last question,
Sorry.
please? We are running short of time.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can you explain with an example where you have handled the failure well?
Actually, failure is the way of life. When we create so many products, so many collections, and it's very possible that it will fail. So let me give a quick example from recent past. 2 years back, this is a jewelry example. Very simple to understand, so I'm not getting into technology. So what we did was we did a collection called Queen of Hearts, wherein it was based on royalty and all of that. It was such a blockbuster. And in jewelry, what happens is, you need to give maximum surface area and make it look really big, but people don't want to pay that kind of prices. So constantly we are innovating on techniques and how to do it. So we came up with another collection the next year. That was another thing based on royalty, and where we wanted to use a new stone cut like topaz with a different kind of cut. We spent a lot of effort in cutting, getting it precise, and we were using that instead of diamond. Of course, telling the customers that it would be, because we are very transparent, we would say that. But from a distance, it would look like diamond, and it was at 4 lakhs or something, and it would have a look of something like 8 lakhs. And we were very confident about it, because previous year when we used different kind of other stones and all of it was rolling something, but it failed miserably. And we had invested a lot in getting that cut with that stone perfect. You never know, because what we assumed and what customers perceived was something very different. So there is a certain learning sitting there. So it just happened that, while we may talk of success story in the forum, but we have to keep in mind, we should be open and accepting that few things will fail. And that shouldn't stop us from innovating. Thank you. And I think I've been told this is the last question. So thank you very much, young girls and guys. Please work hard and make the best use of 3 days. Thank you very much.